Salinas, California gave us unscripted and unexpected in its purest form as Velociraptor took the Dubby Racing Championship and Gravedigger snatched the Dubby Freestyle Championship. Tonight, the biggest and baddest tour is back to show out for the fans in Anaheim, California and find 2 more champions. This is the Rorsrps semi-realistic points series. This is Monster Jam! Hello everybody and welcome back to the RORSRPS channel. My name is Preston Vieira and we are back this time in Anaheim, California, bringing you some more of the biggest and baddest tour as we kick off round 3 of our Monster Jam competition. Last time it was Kraig, Parsons, and Velociraptor who came out on top in racing. He seemed to excel in the Chicago style track of Salinas. We'll see how this Cyclone style treats him as we jump into our racing competition, starting with a look at our racing bracket. Kicking things off in round 1, it'll be Josh Tonkin and Son Uva Digger taking on a returning truck and driver combo, Joe Dennis in Spider-Man Miles Morales. Next out, it'll be Aiden Wegner in Gravedigger taking on historically Tevin Maxwell in Team Meents. Soldier Fortune Black Ops with Ewan Ford behind the wheel will take on Noah Brady in Gunslinger. Mark Culinary in Working Class will face off against Bryce Eagan in War Machine. Craig Parsons and Velociraptor will face off against Gravedigger the Legend with Adam Anderson behind the wheel. Grave Prowler will face off in Sonic Heroes against Kathy Winston in Team Suzuki. Alfredo Moya in Dragon will take on Chad Tingler in Venom. And closing out round 1, it'll be Cameron Landry and Lucas Oil Crusader taking on Drew Austin in Bob and Tom. Let's jump into round 1 of racing, kicking off on an amazing night of competition. There's a lot ahead of us. Josh Tonkin and Son Uva Digger on your right, kicking things off with Joe Dennis on your left in that Spider-Man Miles Morales truck. Now, as I mentioned, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Joe Dennis, was subbed out last time around. Last time we saw him was in Seattle, our first show of the season. He went out in round 1 of racing with a DNF and ended up going down early in freestyle, ending his night with only 3 season points. He was the points loser. He was subbed out last time around. Funnily enough, Son Uva Digger was our racing champion from Seattle, so we'll see how far up the bracket he gets tonight, starting off with our first points loser of the season. Heading into this first turn, we're green for our first race of the night. Big brake check from Joe Dennis in Spider-Man Miles Morales. Coming around this final turn, it is pretty close. A solid race, keeping up with Josh Tonkin from Joe Dennis, but it is all Josh Tonkin over the line. Son Uva Digger is on to round 2 tonight. We'll see him again in a minute. Look at the little bicycle from Joe Dennis. All right, we'll see if he can bring some of those moves out in freestyle. His night is done until then, so we'll see him again in a while. Next out on the track, though, it's Tevin Maxwell in Team Meents taking on Aiden Wegner in Gravedigger, our freestyle champion from Salinas, California 3 weeks ago. Aiden Wegner looking to do it in racing this time around. Both of these trucks have made it into round 2 in both of our biggest and baddest tour events so far this season. Only one can make it tonight. We're launching off of that starting line. Who's going to take it? Now, we've seen this Max D setup take a lot of racing wins on the All-Star Challenge Tour. Hasn't taken any racing wins so far this season here on the biggest and baddest tour. We'll see if tonight is the night. He does manage to grab a win here in round 1, knocking out Aiden Wegner. His round 2 streak is done here in Anaheim, California. Tevin Maxwell keeping it going. We'll see how he does throughout the rest of the night of racing. Maybe he can get up into the semifinals for the first time. That'll be an interesting thing to see here in Anaheim. Let's see how it goes. Ewan Ford in Soldier Fortune Black Ops coming out next. He'll be taking on Noah Brady in Gunslinger. Gunslinger has had some issues in the racing competition. He's been unable to keep that truck under control in the turns. Can he do it tonight with our racing runner-up from Salinas? He's going to need to if he wants to see round 2. All trucks staged, ready to go. We are green and launching off of that skills pad in the center of the stadium. Who will take it to the line? Solid turn from Noah Brady. He's in the lead right now as we head into our final turn. Around it we go, and a big slide from Noah Brady. Rough turn once again. He really needs to get that under control. Gunslinger struggling in the racing competition. It is all Ewan Ford in Soldier Fortune Black Ops heading into round 2 tonight. He's one step closer to getting back up into that W final round. He did it last time. Can he do it again in this time? Potentially take a racing championship. Here's another matchup here, an interesting one for sure. Mark Culinary in working class taking on Bryce Eagan in War Machine. Now here's the thing about these two. They faced off once before in Seattle. War Machine Bryce Eagan went down with a DNF in round 2, letting Mark Culinary get up into the semifinals. In Salinas, it was War Machine who got up into the semifinals, who could potentially get there tonight. I mean, there's no guarantee either one of them will make it up into the semifinals, but someone will be advancing on to round 2. Who will it be? Coming around the final turn, big slide from Mark Culinary. Unfortunate break for Mark tonight, unable to knock out his little rivalry here with War Machine. War Machine Bryce Eagan on to round 2. Nicely done, and a little celebration stoppy as he heads back into the pits to get prepped for the next round. Solid pass from War Machine. Now here comes your reigning racing champion from Salinas, California. It is Kraig Parsons in Velociraptor. He's here determined to take another W Racing Championship here in Anaheim, California. Can he do it? He has to get past a multiple World Finals champion, Adam Anderson, in Gravedigger the Legend. Can he do it? Now, Gravedigger the Legend is a substitute filling in for Predator, our first freestyle champion of the season. A wild turn of events there. We'll see how he does. He needs to get as many points as possible, or a racing or freestyle championship if he wants to earn himself a second show. Coming around our first turn, it's looking good for Adam Anderson right now. Can he keep it up? Kraig Parsons pulling it nice and tight around that final turn. Adam too tight. He's going over. What? Oh my goodness, what a save. Kraig Parsons in Velociraptor manages to cross that line and do it correctly, I would say. Adam Anderson going in reverse there. At least he got across the line, I guess. No DNF, but that definitely hurts Adam Anderson tonight. Not moving on to round 2. Kraig Parsons one step closer to another championship. Grave Prower in Sonic Heroes coming out next on your right. He'll be taking on Kathy Winston in Team Suzuki. Now, last time around, Team Suzuki went out in round 1 of racing. Grave Prower and Sonic Heroes went out in the semifinals. Flip that, and you got our results from Seattle's racing. So we'll see how it goes here. Another pretty evenly matched race. Who is going to come out on top here in round 1? Around our first turn, it is looking good. Kathy Winston with a nice little lead over the line for the first time. And around that final turn, a little bit of a slide from Kathy Winston, but it's not enough from Grave Prower. Kathy Winston in Team Suzuki is on to round 2 tonight here in Anaheim, California. Grave Prower just not enough tonight. We'll see how he does in the freestyle competitions. Decent freestyler, just needs to fill the clock and do well. Coming out next, it is our racing runner-up from Seattle, Alfredo Moya in Dragon. He'll be taking on Chad Tingler in Venom. Now, Venom has yet to make it out of round 1 of racing, excuse me. As I mentioned, he's a past racing runner-up. We'll see how Alfredo Moya does. Here on the right side of your screen, big slide from both trucks out real wide in that first turn. This Chad Tingler to the line first. A little bit of an awkward landing from Alfredo Moya. Can he gather it back up? It's going to be close. Who took it? Alfredo Moya in Dragon comes out on top. Now, that was a very close race. Your eyes may have deceived you, but I do have multiple people checking back on these races that are super close, and it's very hard to tell. And it is Alfredo Moya in Dragon. Moving on to round 2 tonight. Next out on the track, though, Lucas Oil Crusader Cameron Landry. On your right, they'll be taking on Drew Austin in Bob and Tom. Now, again, this is another race where Bob and Tom in show 1 went out in round 1. Lucas Oil Crusader made it to the semifinals. Flip that, and you have your Salinas results. So who is going to come out on top here tonight? Bob and Tom, Drew Austin on 2 wheels through the first turn. Still makes it to the line first. Can Cameron Landry come back around this final turn. Big brake check. Both trucks getting in trouble. And it is Drew Austin in Bob and Tom by inches. Miraculously going down there. Miraculously making it up into round 2. Oh my goodness, that was a close one between the two. I mean, wow, nice job from Drew Austin. But if you guys are enjoying tonight's event and you want more, we got new episodes every Saturday. You can also check out the RORSRPS Instagram for all kinds of extra content, including early access to the week's racing bracket, pit party pictures, and more. But subscribe, guys. New episodes every Saturday. 3 tours to choose from. The Biggest and Baddest Tour, Indy Madness Tour, and the All-Star Challenge Tour. But let's get a look at our Round 2 racing bracket and see how things are lining up. First out, it's going to be Son Uva Digger, Josh Tonkin taking on Team Meents, Tevin Maxwell. Soldier Fortune Black Ops taking on War Machine. Kraig Parsons and Velociraptor taking on Kathy Winston in Team Suzuki. And closing us out, it's Alfredo Moya in Dragon taking on Drew Austin in Bob and Tom. First out on the track, as I mentioned, it is Josh Tonkin and Son Uva Digger. Will be taking on Tevin Maxwell in Team Meents. This is going to be an interesting one for sure. The only one of the two here that has made it up into the Dubby final round before is Son Uva Digger. But that does not mean that Tevin Maxwell does not have a shot. It could be his lucky night. We just got to see how things go here as we are on the line, ready to go, and we're going green. Heading through this first turn, big slide from Tevin Maxwell. Nice and tight from Josh Tonkin. Who's going to take it through this final turn? It's going to be really close. No, not close, excuse me. Tevin Maxwell is going to cut it in real tight is what I meant. Josh Tonkin and Son Uva Digger manages to stick it out, though, and come back through that final turn. All Josh Tonkin heading into the semifinals. Next out on the track, it's Ewan Ford in Soldier Fortune Black Ops. Bryce Eagan in War Machine is going to be facing off. Now, I really don't know here. This is a very interesting race. We just saw Bryce Eagan absolutely murk working class Mark Culinary last round. So who's going to come out on top here? A semi-proven racer with Ewan Ford or Bryce Eagan in War Machine? Through this first turn, it is a close race so far. Both trucks clipping that turning obstacle. Uh-oh. That could only mean this is going to be a wild finish. Coming to the line, it's close. And it is Bryce Eagan in War Machine once again making it up into the semifinals. What a pass from Bryce Eagan. Manages to hold out until the very end. Ewan Ford did manage to make up some ground there near the end, but when it comes down to it, it's all Bryce Eagan. In War Machine, Kraig Parsons and Velociraptor back onto the track. They'll be taking on Kathy Winston in Team Suzuki. These two have not faced off so far this season. I don't believe so. We'll see how they do here on their first matchup of the season. Both trucks lined up, ready to go. Staged. We're going green. And through that first turn, nice and tight from Velociraptor. Kraig Parsons really wants another shot at a second Dubby Racing Championship. Kathy Winston a little all over the place in that final turn. It is all Kraig Parsons in Velociraptor heading into the semifinals, one step closer to his Dubby Racing Championship. Can he do it again? Can he make it up into that Dubby final round one more time? Just gotta watch and see. Alfredo Moya in Dragon looking to take on Drew Austin in Bob and Tom. This is definitely, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm thinking Alfredo Moya has this one in the bag. Drew Austin and Bob and Tom really has a tough time controlling that truck through these big sweeping turns. That truck likes to get hiked up on 2 wheels. As we go green, who is going to take it to the line? Big slide from Bob and Tom. Drew Austin trying to keep that truck under control, getting up on 2 wheels again. Not doing too bad, but he is wide in the final turn. Alfredo Moya all over the place. Everybody all over the place here, and Drew Austin goes down again, giving the fans just what they've come to expect from that Bob and Tom truck going down after the line. It is all Dragon heading into the final round, or semifinal round, excuse me. Son Uva Digger will be kicking off the semis, facing off against Bryce Eagan in War Machine, and Kraig Parsons and Velociraptor will once again get another shot at knocking down Alfredo Moya in Dragon. Last time they faced off, it was Kraig Parsons. The time before that, it was Alfredo Moya. We're 50-50 here. Who's going to come out on top between the two? Speaking of who's going to come out on top, Josh Tonkin and Son Uva Digger is taking on Bryce, Eagan, and War Machine. Now, typically, I would not be putting my money on Bryce Eagan, but tonight he has been on fire. This may be his layout. Can he master it one more time to get that Dubby final round placement? Coming around the first turn, Bryce Eagan does clip the turning obstacle. That may slow him down. Around this final turn, big slide from Bryce Eagan. That's definitely going to slow him down. Josh Tonkin and Son Uva Digger takes it over the line, and he is moving on to our Dubby final round. He gets another shot at a Dubby Racing Championship. He already has one under his belt from Seattle in our first show of the season. Can he do it once again? The big question here is who is going to come out on top. Velociraptor, Kraig Parsons, has a racing championship under his belt now from Salinas. Alfredo Moya in Dragon was the runner-up that lost to Son Uva Digger in Seattle. It's either a rematch or a reigning champion looking for his second championship. Who will it be around our first turn? It is close to the line. Alfredo Moya in Dragon just has a slight edge on Kraig Parsons, but he clips the turning obstacle. Alfredo Moya all over the place. Kraig Parsons keeping it clean. Velociraptor is getting another shot at the Dubby Racing Championship as Alfredo Moya goes for a wild ride over that finish line. Your Dubby final round is the two reigning racing champions facing off. Both of your champions from this season in the racing competition here on the Biggest and Baddest Tour are facing off in your Dubby final round. And here they come, Josh Tonkin and Son Uva Digger on your right. Kraig Parsons in Velociraptor will be on your left. This is going to be an insane race, and I am hyped and energized. And if you want to get energized, head over to dubby.gg. They have some incredible flavors of energy powder, and they even have non-caffeinated hydration blends. They have 2 of those flavors, and they are both delicious, and they have over 10 flavors of energy powders. Find your flavor and use code RORSRPS for 10% off your order at checkout. But let's get into our racing competition. Your Dubby final round is here, and we are green. Heading into our first turn, both trucks masterfully around it. Kraig Parsons does clip the turning obstacle, gets a little wheelie up the ramp. That may give him the edge as we come to the line. It's close, but not close enough. Kraig Parsons in Velociraptor does it again. Kraig Parsons in Velociraptor takes the Dubby Racing Championship tonight against Josh Tonkin in Son Uva Digger. Oh my goodness. He is now a 2-time Dubby Racing champ, and he has the bragging rights of knocking out Josh Tonkin, our first racing champion of the season, and your 2-wheel skills champion from the World Finals in Season 1. What a night here in racing for Kraig Parsons. We'll see if he can keep this energy up as we move over to freestyle. Be sure to stick to the end and click on that card at the end of the video. It'll take you straight to our freestyle competition. And one more time for Kraig Parsons. A great night, and he is now a 2-time Dubby Racing Championship, and he'll have to defend it one more time as we head into our next round of competition. Big sky wheelie, and he is going to park that thing right up on that skills pad. One more time for Kraig Parsons in Velociraptor. An excellent night of racing. Absolutely killed it. The Chicago style is working for Kraig Parsons. We'll see how he does as we move into our next show and our next racing layout. Let's take a look at our points after tonight's racing competition. Son Uva Digger is still holding the lead with 58 points, but Velociraptor is creeping with 40 points. He'll be tied with Alfredo Moya in Dragon as Ewan Ford takes 35 points. Bob and Tom ends up with 32. Team Meents with 30, as well as Gravedigger still tied. Team Suzuki ends up with 28 points. Sonic Heroes has 26. Working Class takes 24. Venom with 23 points. And Bryce Eagan with 22. Lucas Oil Crusader down at the back right now with 20 points. Gunslinger with 18. Spider-Man Miles Morales with 5. And our sub for the night, Gravedigger the Legend, only with 2. If you guys are enjoying the event, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Like I said, we got new episodes every Saturday, and we got 3 tours: the All-Star Challenge Tour, the Biggest and Baddest Tour, and the Indy Madness Tour. And there's a lot of fun to be had. Be sure to check out the ROR SRPS Instagram. We have all kinds of extra content, including early access to the week's racing bracket, pit party pictures, results, and just general news about the channel, if there ever is any to be told. And once more, be sure to check out Dubby at dubby.gg on the internet, dubby.gg on Instagram, and you can check them out on their all-new app on both the Google and Apple Play stores. They have some delicious flavors of energy powders, and check them out, guys, and use code RORSRPS at checkout. You'll get 10% off, and you'll help support the ROR SRPS channel so I can give you some more ROR SRPS videos. But thank you guys so much for tuning in for racing. Stick around for freestyle. We'll be right back here in Anaheim.